What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Underdog Sports Podcast. I am your host, Nolan Skeen, alongside Antonio Fiore and Sal Lestrina. Gentlemen.
How we doing, fellas?
Good.
We're doing good?
Yeah.
So, tonight we got a lot on the plate. We got Week 14 recap, of course. The Patriots cheating again. Talk about it later. Gerrit Cole got paid by
Antonio's
the Yankees.
horny.
Antonio's horny. And we
Finally got their
15
starter.
Week 15 predictions. So, let's start with Gerrit Cole.
Okay, after being excited about that and thinking about how we have Gerrit Cole, my next thought was get J Happ off of my baseball team as soon as possible. I don't want to have to deal with that anymore because, as far as I'm concerned, if he's still going to be on this team next year, get that guy in the bullpen because he's not starting.
I'm nervous for the Yankees, only in the sense that if he has one major arm injury, that
I was going to
contract's
say
not
the
gonna be
injury
worth
thing,
it.
that's really scary. If he can...
That's just a long contract for a pitcher.
Oh, yeah, it's absurd, but I think...
If anyone's worth it, it's him.
They know the implications of like what can happen in the later years of this contract, but I think best case scenario, what they get out of this is 4 to 5 more years of him on the top of his game. After that is probably when you'll start to see a little regression, but he'll still be,
9 years
an
is
upper
a
tier.
lot
I know,
for-
an upper tier pitcher, but then you get into those last 2-3 years of his contract. That's when
I think
you're probably
that
gonna
they
wanna
did
get out of
that. They did that just to give him enough money for him to come there, and they
Well,
just
he was
they
gonna
just
get an
want him
offer
for the
like that
next
from
two.
another team too.
They just want him for the next 2 or 3 years. They really
They're
want.
just trying to
World
buy
Series.
a title right now.
They want World Series right now because they're tired of hearing, "Oh, you don't have any in this
In the
decade."
Well,
Like, they're
it's past
tired of
that
hearing
now.
it. They're tired of hearing it from Boston fans and from all of baseball.
I mean, they're not going to get a title in that decade, so
Well, yeah, but I mean, they heard enough of that, and they want so many World
We'll have
Series
8 this
in this
decade.
coming decade. They're like, yeah, well, we'll see about this decade. Let's go sign Gerrit Cole for $324 million.
I also read a report today that the Sox are close to moving off of Price and Betts. That's what I don't remember who.
I think paying David Price was a really bad idea.
I think everyone does. I mean, he
Every-
pitched
like-
great. He pitched great in the
That's the
playoffs.
only
He
re-
won the World
I
Series,
mean-
but that's it.
No shit, but the only reason he got that contract was because of the 6 games he pitched in the postseason. Like,
Yeah, that was a reward, and now they're regretting it.
yeah. I mean, Chris Sale's arm fell off during the season too.
Yeah,
so.
that was crazy to see.
I think every starting pitcher for the Red Sox just out of the gate.
They
And-
love having
and
a first
bullpen.
good season, and then they're really bad after that. Obviously the Cole signing's good, but I think you still need a little bit more depth behind him. I don't trust Paxton, honestly. Paxton's not someone I would trust in a playoff series.
He pitched well in the playoffs. I think he had one really bad one, but that was about it.
He always gets rocked in the first inning too. Like, he never starts off strong, I feel like.
When he's your third option in a rotation, I think that's fine.
And they got
You
rid
get
of,
Severino.
Severino's up and down though.
Did they get rid of Gregorius?
They did. He
They
went to the
did.
Phillies on a 1-year deal.
I saw that he was maybe going to the Phillies. I didn't know if it was official yet.
I
or
like
not.
that move.
It's really upsetting to see Didi leave, but at the same time, they're just going to move Glaber over to short, and they'll have LeMahieu at second. We're not really missing anything there. It's just
Did you
Didi was a
see-
fun personality to have on the team. He was a great defender. He was ended up being a really good hitter that ended up panning out.
That team's going to be a post-type sleeper this year. I really think they could win 95 or 100 games this
The
year.
Phillies?
Yeah.
I think so too. That division is loaded now. The Mets, I think, are going to be a great team next year.
Well, they got a billionaire owner that just bought the team too a couple of days ago. So, they're going to start
The
spending.
Phillies or the Mets?
Mets.
Oh, okay.
The Braves are still in the mix. Washington,
Get the
defending
Braves
world-
out of here. The Braves lost their
Braves are
soul.
the ultimate sleeper though. Like everyone's always just like,
Oh
hey,
yeah,
the
well,
Braves are doing
they
well.
rebuilt for a few years, and now they have a really, really talented young core. But oh my god, that division.
They love going out in the NLDS. That's like their favorite
yeah,
thing
that's
to
all
do.
they've done in the past, I don't know, like 10, 15 years. But
Try like 25 or 30, honestly. Ever
So-
since like when Bobby Cox was there, that's what they did every year, except they won it 1 year. Like, they either lose in the NLDS or the NLCS, or they win one
yeah,
World
when they had
Series.
the amazing pitching rotation too with Maddox, Glavine, and
Smoltz. Yeah.
But that NL East, which last year, if you looked at the standings, literally one good team, and there were 4 losing teams in that division.
It could
And now
flip.
we're going to have most likely 4 winning teams in this division. It's hard to say that I love the Mets as like a playoff team next year because you just can't guarantee anything in this division right now. Because the Phillies, you don't want to leave the Phillies out, but then you don't want to leave the Braves out. And you don't want to leave out the Nationals.
I could see the Braves taking a step back, and I could see the Nationals taking a step back in that division, honestly. I think the Nationals might have
you're talking about the potential of all these teams, and all these teams have really high ceilings. They're not all going to reach it, but it's going to be interesting to see how it plays
I could
out.
say any one of them realistically could win a World Series just because they all have the pitching for it. Except maybe Atlanta, and that's why I don't believe in Atlanta.
And the Mets are starting to get a bullpen. They had Seth Lugo, who was literally their only good bullpen
blew
pitcher.
he blew every save too.
But they've signed some guys, and
I don't know, like recapping the whole Gerrit Cole thing though. I think overall, obviously a good signing. Like you signed probably the best pitcher in that.
Yeah, they were not missing out on him.
You're going to get the best out of this deal within, like I said, first 3 to 5 years,
and then
which is fine with
after that, you just live. I guess you just have to live with the consequences. Like he's going to be on the books, and he's going to be getting paid his $30-some-odd million. But
yeah, because no one else is going to want to pay that.
At that point of his career now, with that many, because he's going to pitch 200 innings as long as he's healthy every year. So
yeah,
he's going to have a lot of miles on that arm.
All right, so let's move to football.
I want to first discuss Antonio's New York Giants. That's the game I actually want to start with.
Let's start with that then. The last game of the weekend.
Really exciting when it started
Fresh
off.
in our minds.
How did you feel about your beloved Eli going out there and actually playing pretty well?
It was really fun to watch in the first half, and then absolutely nothing happened in the second half. They lost. Whatever.
You said that you were going to cry if you had a chance for a game-winning drive, and it was 17-17.
It was there.
I
It
know.
was set up for him.
If they got the ball in overtime,
Didn't they go
that's
3
when
and
I was
out
gonna
too?
get.
They
I think they went 3 and out.
went the hardest 3 and out.
I thought there could have been a chance in overtime, but I really didn't expect
I was
them to
pulling
stop
for
Philly on
Eli.
that drive.
I'm not a Giants fan. I'm a Patriots fan. I hate the Giants, but I was pulling for Eli.
Oh yeah,
in that
no.
game.
If you could see him throw a game winner and possibly his last game in overtime, that would have been amazing. Too bad they didn't get a chance.
I don't like everyone just saying that was his last game
It very well could have been. Well, as a Giant,
as a Giant.
this could have been him going out there, and he played pretty well. Him going out there saying, "Hey,
What
someone
team wants
come get
82-year-old
me."
Eli Manning to start for them next year? Are we serious right now?
I'm sure.
I don't know.
Name me.
I think some team
Name me a
would try
team.
it.
I want to hear a team. Any team that would want Eli Manning.
Bears.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Honestly, I'd rather have Mitch Trubisky than Eli.
At least he
Manning.
can move. Eli's a statue.
I feel like there'd be a
No
team
team
that would
wants
try
a
to take
pocket
chance
quarterback
on.
anymore.
No team wants a 40-year-old pocket quarterback either. That's
The
my
Patriots
point.
do. We'll talk about that later.
He talked about a statue.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, that's a
More on the
post.
Giants game.
Every week your take is looking better and better that Carson Wentz is not a franchise quarterback.
It's so, I don't know. It's just so bad because, yes, he doesn't have a lot of weapons.
I lost a lot of faith
But-
in Carson this weekend by watching him. But when you think about the problem he has a very similar problem to what Tom Brady has up in New England right now. Skill players, where are they? And this is to a
But
worse extent.
Carson Wentz is a little bit more athletic and he can move in and out of the pocket, but he just doesn't. And Booger
At least he's
actually,
an offensive line.
Booger actually made a good point. Yes,
Surprisingly.
he made a good point that maybe he doesn't move out of the pocket as much because he's concerned about getting hurt like he has the past
And
few
you know
years.
he's the best one. He's rolling out of the pocket and on the move.
I don't know if that's the case, but like they got to do something because nobody wants to win the NFC East.
Oh, they're all just playing patty cake with each other.
They're playing patty cake. Like Dallas is the only team that I can see like winning that division. I can't see the Eagles winning that division.
I can't.
I don't
with the
see.
issues
I
they
don't
have.
think they
They
can
literally
beat
don't.
I
have
mean,
a,
I say this now, but
they don't
I don't
have a
think they
wide
can beat
receiver.
Dallas.
I can't say I can't see them winning the division, but I would be surprised if the Eagles won the division because it all comes down to that Philly-Dallas game. And
in Philly.
And I was going to say, Philly's at home. So at that point, it's like, can they win one home game?
And if Dallas lost to the Jets, I'm sure they can lose to the Eagles.
Yeah, but that was like one game though. That was
Okay,
one
this,
game a long
this
time
could be another
ago.
one game.
We've
seen
that
the
whole,
caliber
like,
of team. We've seen the caliber of teams that the Cowboys have lost to.
As bad as Doug Peterson has been this season, I'll take Doug Peterson over Jason Garrett in a must-win game.
Oh,
Any
absolutely.
day.
He has more command over his team. Jerry Jones is too loud.
Jerry Jones runs the team. That's the
He's
problem.
way too loud.
And when you look at their entire coaching staff, it's all family members. everyone on that coaching staff has had something to do with the Cowboys in the past.
I mean,
Whether it be former players, former coaches, or just like friends of Jerry Jones.
I think that would be a good next place to go, right? Talk about them. Just they played
Dallas.
Thursday night, right?
They played Thursday.
No, they don't play Thursday night.
No, they
Oh,
played.
they did. Oh, yeah,
Thursday
they did
night.
play for
So
Thursday.
yeah, we'll go to that game.
Mitch looked good, but that's
Yeah,
because
they
he
lost
played.
again.
That's because they played Dallas. It's not hard to look good when you play them.
The Bears are surging a little
on
bit too.
paper. Like it's just if I was a Dallas fan, I would be so frustrated because I'm just frustrated looking at it. On paper, they're a really good football team.
They don't give Zeke the ball enough either. I think that's part of their problem. Like they'll establish him in the first drive and they normally score, and then after that they just abandon the run and just go heavy pass every play. I feel like.
Which the passing's been working, but they're not winning. Their offense has been efficient.
That's what it feels like too, right? It feels like their offense has been working. It's just not.
Dak's
winning.
among lead leaders and quarterbacks and pretty much every stat.
Dak's numbers are out of this world.
He's leading the league in passing yards, and
Like if
Their
Lamar
receivers
and,
are
if
playing
Lamar
very
and
well,
Russell
but-
aren't doing as well, he's in the MVP conversation.
well, and if the
they didn't
Cowboys
run
have
this
a
little
winning game.
skid, I would say definitely.
yeah,
yes.
and if they were playing better football and winning, but I mean,
But look, their receivers are performing well, but you're not winning.
and you have a bunch of why has no one like stepped up and really like taken? Jason Garrett is not doing anything. Jerry Jones is just whining in the corner about his football team that he's getting in his way of. Like Jerry Jones is getting in the way of his football team by going out and saying all these things in the press. Do you ever hear any other owner talk as much as Jerry Jones?
no.
Yeah, and I think if you're a head coach that is looking for a place to go this offseason and has potential to be
I don't
signed
wanna
by
go to
NFL
Dallas.
teams, yeah, why would you go to Dallas over
Isn't
say
that why
a
Bill
job opening?
Parcells got kicked? Like went out of there because
Because
of the-
Parcells is a guy that wants control over his roster, and Jerry
And-
Jones is like, no.
Not only of the roster, I literally feel like Jones has a hand in like the play calling. Like I honestly feel like he tells Garrett,
Yeah,
like,
he's like, hey, let's
feed Amari this
Yeah,
week.
I
Or,
mean,
like,
field Amari. Yeah,
If you're a head coach, you're attracted to Dallas because of one, the tradition of the Dallas Cowboys and the talent they have on the team. But everything else, especially when you're talking
and
about
you have an owner that spends money.
yeah, but an owner that's also very loud and is going to be up your ass about probably everything. I'd be all set if I'm a head coach and maybe look to a place that has a job opening, most likely Cleveland or New York.
And
In New York, you get great ownership.
somebody on, I think it was a Dallas radio station, was interviewing Troy Aikman, and they asked him if he would go into like I forget, either like a GM position or a front office position in Dallas. He said, no, I don't think so, because Jerry Jones is just
Everything.
Yeah.
like he wouldn't have anything. He wouldn't have anything to do because Jerry Jones controls everything. So I think letting go of the reins a little bit, maybe
He'll
after
never do
this-
it though. He's got to pass it on to Steven.
He's too stubborn.
Yeah, that's the problem.
He's way too stubborn.
He's a boomer.
Okay, boomer.
I don't know. Obviously Dallas has their issues. It just all comes down to that very tight matchup next week against Philly.
That'll be a good game.
It'll be it's probably Sunday Night Football or Monday Night Football.
Well, there's flex games next week.
So yeah, that's probably
So
gonna be Sunday
what are the
night.
games on Saturday? I didn't even look.
I haven't looked yet.
We'll talk about that when we talk about week 15. But
I'm mad at both you guys.
you're mad at us?
I'm mad at both of you.
For what?
Why'd you let me switch my pick?
you know,
I knew as soon as the podcast was over I shouldn't have switched, and Carolina got murdered by Atlanta. And then
It was that's the only reason why.
oh yeah, and then Buffalo didn't cover. I had Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
So annoying.
So what game? Do you want to talk about the Buffalo-Baltimore game? I think that was a really good game.
I think I'm not going to say surprisingly, but I think Baltimore did a good job at least slowing down Lamar. Like there is no blueprint to stopping Lamar, but I think
They've done it better than any
they've
other
done
team
it
so
better
far
than
this
most
year.
teams have done so far. So at that point, it's like I give them credit for.
And this has high potential to be a playoff matchup if Buffalo does indeed enter as a 5 seed and Baltimore goes in as the 1. Because if Buffalo wins first round, which would be most likely against the Texans, I could definitely see Buffalo winning that game. And then there you go, you have another Baltimore and Buffalo matchup.
You know
A
what?
team that has a lot of experience with each other.
I hate to say this, but it's looking more and more like Buffalo could pass New England in the division. The way New England's playing right now.
It's again, that's another
And the-
divisional matchup that'll come
if
down
Buffalo
to.
was able to pull this one
They're
out
playing
against
next
Baltimore,
week, right?
this would
Or
be
They play next
huge.
week.
Or they play Miami next. No, they play next week against Buffalo.
Yeah, they play next week.
So it's gonna come down to that game.
Yeah, you guys got to be thankful about Baltimore taking care of Buffalo this weekend, or else you'd have a tied division right now.
That would be
next
scary.
week. Then next week would be potentially for the 1 seed because that would have been Baltimore losing.
And you're praying and crossing every finger and toe that somehow the Jets pull out a win against Baltimore.
Which, no way.
On Thursday, no way. But whatever, could happen.
What was the other game? Oh, Carolina and Atlanta. There's nothing really to talk about there, honestly.
We were totally wrong about that game. We thought there's no way.
You can't bet on Atlanta. You're really gonna lay 3 points? Like,
no,
I just don't agree.
I don't agree, but I did not think that they would lose in that sort of
Fashion
blowout of a game. Why does Atlanta pick and choose what weeks they play good?
Coaching,
especially now.
I don't know. I couldn't really tell you.
They want to go 6-10 so bad.
Oh yeah, they love that. They love 5-11 or 6-10.
They were like, yeah, we're gonna have a really good draft pick with an already talented team. No, let's go down to the 11th draft pick. And we'll
they have a talented team.
Yeah, they do.
Oh my God, with Julio Jones.
I don't know what
they have a talented offense.
I could not honestly tell you what their excuse is for not being good this year. Because they came in thinking they were a playoff team this year.
I feel like they've just been haunted since the 2015 Super Bowl.
Their win total to start the season was 8.5 or 9. So it's like at that point, people are assuming they're going to be close to a playoff spot, if not in the playoffs. So I don't know. I feel like Matt Ryan has been not as good, obviously, and the defense obviously has not.
Yeah, that's
held its own.
Who's the defensive coordinator? I don't think I know.
I think Dan Quinn calls it, but I don't know who.
If Dan Quinn calls it, then that's bad. That's so bad. Then I'm okay with him
responsible for the defensive.
I'm okay with him getting fired. They're making a case for him to not be fired right now with the way they're playing the past few weeks, where they've just been somehow getting wins. But he's got to be out of there.
It's hard for me to make a call on whether.
Just if
Quinn's
you look
gonna
at
keep a job.
If you don't have short-term memory and you look at the past few years where they have had a talented team and just not gone anywhere with it, he's got to be fired. You got to look for something else. You got to look for something else with Matt Ryan. I don't think Matt Ryan is it right now.
Both these teams, it's just over for this year.
With Matt Ryan, I could see them going in the way that Baltimore went with Joe Flacco, with getting him out of there while they could, and then moving on a young quarterback. But they have to get a young quarterback first.
Mm-hmm.
You guys know who's in second place in the NFC South now?
Tampa.
Yeah. It was once the 5-2 Panthers. They've lost 6 straight.
They did this last year.
They
lost 8 in a row last year to end the season.
Remember, they were 6-2. Then there was that one game in Pittsburgh.
I mean, that's why Ron Rivera was fired.
Yeah.
Which I think did they win last week when he got fired?
No,
they didn't.
They got blown up by Atlanta.
So that was
there was a game in between, but they got blown out that game.
They did play another game since him being fired.
Yeah,
that wasn't just the only one.
No, this was the first game that since they were fired last year. Or last week they got blown out though. I just can't remember who it was that blew them out.
No. There was.
Yeah, he got fired last week.
That was the Thanksgiving game. So no, this was the first game.
They played the Saints. I can't say they got blown out, but it was 2 touchdowns for most of the game that the Saints were up by.
Wasn't Rivera still there?
I don't think Rivera was there though, or Rivera was there.
Yeah, Rivera was.
He got fired after.
No, the Saints played Atlanta on Thanksgiving. So who did Carolina play last week?
Who am I looking at here? Am I all right?
This is the first.
The Redskins.
They lost to the Redskins,
and that's what got them fired.
Yeah, they were up 13-0, and then they lost the game 29-21.
Okay, yeah. So we thought that they would come out and just our theory about coach getting fired and then being fired up after that.
Everything came up in that game. You bet against Atlanta. You have a team coming off a coach getting fired, and I thought they would be pumped up to play.
I think they were more sad that Ron Rivera was gone because a lot of the players liked him.
Yeah.
I think when the Chargers got rid of their offensive coordinator, the team was fired up. We're like, all right, let's go. He's not holding us back anymore.
Especially when their offense was doing bad in this first half of the regular season too. So speaking of them, they put on a
show,
a firework display in Jacksonville.
90-yard touchdown.
I mean, they're the Chargers. Some weeks they look really good. Another weeks Phillip Rivers is throwing 5 picks.
And the Chargers have just they're done.
Oh yeah. I think this is Rivers last year, but then again, it's up to him.
It has to be Rivers last year.
He's
he's actually played decent in the past.
He still hasn't signed his contract extension, right?
He's been he's been driving back and forth from San Diego too, so it kind of feels like he's not going to keep doing that after this.
Like
season.
you would have moved if you had a
long term implications there.
And he hasn't signed his contract extension that they were planning on giving to him.
It's definitely time. In my opinion.
Everything reads it as
seems
he's
like
moving
that
on.
quarterback class of 2004 is kind of winding down.
He's got 9 kids. He needs to chill. He needs to like be at home with them with that jungle that he has. That's got to be awful having 9 kids.
He must love it.
Oh yeah,
can't get enough of them.
Oh yeah, he loves it.
Jacksonville's just a dumpster fire. Can't stop anyone on defense, and I mean Minshew hasn't really done much since he came back in. But then again, like.
All he had was
there's not much that he can do. Touchdown. So
while we were talking about the Bucs, let's talk about their game against the Colts. Which I was surprised that they scored that many points.
Mike Evans blew out his hamstring during the first quarter. That was upsetting.
He did. I thought about you instantly when that happened. I was like, oh man.
I have him on 2 teams, so that one hurt.
I took down Sal in fantasy football once again this weekend.
It's the curse of Antonio, apparently.
That
180 against me.
Yeah, it's a 2 quarterback league, and I had Drew Brees, who had 40 points. Phillip Rivers decided to play good, so that wasn't good for him.
Just every player that you had
every
went
player
off.
was fantastic for me. But
didn't Phillip Rivers get pulled in that game too when they were up?
He was playing so well that he got pulled.
Let's get it.
Yeah, so this Buccaneers and Colts game.
Who was their backup?
Tyrod Taylor.
That's it.
Colts were up on the Buccaneers for a while, and I was kind of keeping an eye on the score because they were in my pick 3. Down at the bottom of the screen when I was watching, I want to say.
Yeah, the first time ever we had a push.
Yeah, first time we ever had a push. And when I saw that they pulled out a 38-35 win, I was like, you know what? I don't get a loss credited me. So
yeah, and it was after I said last week that there will never be a push. And of course there was a push.
Yeah, how funny is that?
And it had to be in your pick 3.
But I had a weird feeling this week. When we did this show last week, I was not as confident in the Bucs putting them in my pick 3 as I have been in the weeks past.
They still cover. I mean, technically they still covered. So.
They did win the game too. Like
They
I don't
did.
think we expected them to win the game.
I saw some guy.
Well, they were -3.5. So if we took them, we kind of had to expect them to win.
They were -3.
Or -3.
I saw on Twitter some guy had some like $75 or $100 parlay. It was like 10 teams, and the last team was Colts money line, and it was like this guy must be seeing Jameis Winston in his nightmares, and it was for like $81,000 or something.
Imagine seeing Jameis Winston in your nightmares.
I hate to see it.
Just throwing an interception. Someone said that he might be the first one to ever have the most touchdowns in a season with having the most interceptions.
Well, yeah. Let's listen to the stat line. He goes 33 for 45.
396.
No. 456.
Oh wow! I thought he had
4 touchdowns and 3 interceptions.
That's such a Jameis Winston
Hi,
style.
Brett Favre. That sounds like a Brett Favre game to me.
Keep him in Tampa. Let him sling it around. Why not?
Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun offense to watch when he's not.
It's not very practical, but it's definitely fun to watch.
I've had hope for Tampa in the past couple of years.
I think that they've kind of embraced that Jameis is throwing the most interceptions. They don't really care.
They've won 3 in a row.
They're not shying away from him throwing the ball.
We love them.
It's a football team with potential.
We love them.
I love the Bucs.
Yeah, I want to see them get a running back and a defense next year. And
Ronald Jones
roll.
has played good this season. I'm not going to say he's anything to
has.
write home about, but he's been playing good.
I'm trying to find this thing that they had about Jameis, about his stat line. Oh, let's see. Jameis Winston could lead the NFL in passing touchdowns, yards, and interceptions.
All in the same season.
He's second behind Lamar in touchdowns. He's second behind Dak in passing yards, and he's first in interceptions, and the bottom
By
nobody
far.
else close.
Yeah, he has 23. I think Baker has like 16 or 17. That's absurd.
Speaking of Baker, what a cop-out saying that it's the medical staff's fault about Odell's injury.
He is making everyone wrong about him. Or right about him, I should say. Everyone was like, he's immature, he can't do anything, and he's proving them right.
I forget where I heard this.
Just shut up and play football.
It's like, what's the saying? It's don't open your mouth, or don't let people assume you're stupid. Like, just don't open your mouth at that point. Like, just let people make assumptions about you. It's like, if he just keeps his mouth shut and didn't say anything all year, people would be like, what a great leader. This guy's been playing so well, yada, 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 this and that.
Yeah, and all the blame would be on Freddie Kitchens.
Right, and then they would say like, oh, like the other parts of the team aren't doing their job, but now he wants to sit there, run his mouth, say this is wrong, that's wrong, this part of the team isn't playing well.
Yeah,
like,
when you have a loud quarterback that makes things 10
hard.
times worse. 10 times worse.
There's no model for success in the NFL with a quarterback like that.
And now Odell wants out, which I would also want out. I don't want to play there.
I mean, I would want out, but at the same time, what has Odell done to show any team, hey, like, come get me?
Also,
No,
if the
yeah.
Browns look to trade him,
They're
I
not
don't-
getting what they traded for.
Yeah, they're not
him.
getting what they're trading for, but that doesn't take away from the potential that this offense has with the 2 running backs and Jarvis Landry still there.
Do they re-sign Kareem Hunt?
I think they should.
Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt is a very good tandem.
It's a great tandem, but at the same time, are you really going to pay? I don't. They're probably not paying Chubb a whole.
I
hell
don't
of a
think
lot,
Kareem
but
Hunt should expect much after what he's been suspended for.
It's a-
He was,
Yeah, and
he was
also,
out
but
for 8 games.
He's also not a loud, dramatic player like Odell. So if you would, want to decide between them two,
Yeah, and I don't know.
I'm not saying don't sign Kareem Hunt. I'm just saying, do you really
I
want
just
to pay
don't
2
think-
running backs?
I don't think if they did sign him that they would have to break the bank. Is what I'm saying.
I just don't know what kind of contract he would command. So at that point, I would say if you didn't have for a reasonable contract, I would say definitely.
I
do
would
it.
communicate with him, and
I
then
don't- I
if he
don't
tries
think
to hold
Because even
out,
that off. All right,
I don't think Hunt's going to try and hold out. He's got a reputation to build back up.
I don't think so either. That's why I'm saying I don't think that they have to
So
break
even
the
if they
bank.
get rid of Odell, they still have Hunt. If they re-sign Hunt, Chubb, and
Landry.
Njoku, Landry, like Ricky Seals-Jones, they have a couple.
Antonio
They-
Callaway still there?
No, they cut him, but I don't know. They have Higgins. That's the other guy I was thinking of. They still have good people, and they can.
And that's why they're so disappointing this year because
And if
they
Baker
have
can,
all these
you know,
pieces.
Yeah.
get accuracy again like he did last year, showed some great
And
accuracy.
before the whole helmet game, like they had Myles Garrett and like all these pieces on the back end.
Remember Myles Garrett? Why did he do that? Oh
Honestly,
my
it's
God.
looking better and better each week because I wouldn't want to play for the Browns either.
I couldn't believe I woke up and saw him hit.
I couldn't believe I got a text that said, "What's wrong with Miles Garrett?" And
couldn't-
looked to
I
see
couldn't
what was
believe
wrong
it
with
when I
Miles
saw it.
Garrett, and that he.
I
hit
couldn't
someone.
believe what I was watching either. It was
Yeah, you were the
crazy.
only one between the
The
three
weird,
of us watching
the
that
weird
game.
part about that whole thing is like he is a top defender in the NFL. Like imagine,
Yeah, and you know what? Before this, he's a nice kid. Like
Everyone always
every
says he's like the
interview with
quiet,
him,
nice
yeah.
kid. He doesn't like party or anything.
imagine like Jason Peters doing this. Like if Jason Peters just
Oh my god!
taking a helmet off and then just smashing it over someone's head. You'd be like, what?
Or like if Jalen Ramsey did it.
I could see him doing that.
That's
That's,
what I'm
the
saying,
fun. Like
like-
that's the funny part.
Yeah, no,
I'd be
he's
like,
a guy you
okay.
could see
Yeah.
having a temper tantrum.
I'd be like, okay, but that was like Myles Garrett. He is kind of like untamed on the field sometimes with the penalties that he gets. Like he's gotten a lot of like after the play
Yeah,
stuff,
Roughing the
Absolutely.
passer, yeah.
but nothing to this sort of degree. Like you could kill somebody.
All right, I think it's time to discuss what everyone's been waiting for.
What is everyone waiting for?
Are the Patriots cheaters or are they not cheaters?
The Patriots are not cheaters.
Antonio's saying no. I was waiting.
I feel like that'd be kind of
Here's the
expected
thing.
of me to
I think
say no.
this is the first time where I think a lot of the public is just not buying it.
I think a good majority of the
Yeah.
public is not buying it, but some people are like, oh, the Patriots
There's
are dead.
always those
Most-
Patriot haters.
Yeah, well,
out
most
there.
people can see this for what it is, saying that's just their media group, and that
It has
who gives a
nothing to
fuck?
do with the team. It's a production for a fucking movie.
It's the Bengals
feature
too.
That they do.
You need that much. If you're the Patriots,
like
you need
they're
that much
going to
help
film
beating the Bengals.
The one-win
Okay.
Bengals.
Okay, here's what I'm gonna say.
What?
They are going to take the Bengals to the shed this week. Take
Oh,
them
absolutely.
out,
Have to.
take them out back and slap them
You've
around.
lost 2 straight, and you're playing the worst team
And they
in the
love
NFL.
to do this after losing to
60
Kansas
to
City.
12.
Has anyone seen the lines this week?
What is it? 9.5?
9.
9? Easy.
Smash
Free
it.
money.
Right?
Are you saying like why is it not more?
I get like they haven't looked good, but then again it's Cincinnati, so it's like what?
62 to
know.
6. Literally.
I think this is what the Patriots have done the past few years when they haven't been playing well. Towards the end of the season, they get these gimme games where they can get their shit going. Next week against
2
Buffalo,
straight
they'll
losses.
get
You're
tested
telling me
again.
this isn't going to be like the ass kicking of a
Oh,
century?
next week they'll get tested again against Buffalo, but they get to end the season with Miami, so they'll get to beat up on Miami. before going into the playoffs, which I think they need. Like, they need that little boost. Just like when college teams, before the season starts, Alabama will play like Appalachian State or something and blow them out by 70. That's exactly what the Patriots need going into the playoffs. And they've always used Cincinnati and, Buffalo when they sucked, and Miami as punching bags at the end of the season to get out their anger. But I mean, it is a little bit more concerning because the Patriots just don't have anything.
I think if there's ever a get-right game, it's playing the Cincinnati Bengals.
But I think it's got to be their defense, though.
I think it's got to be everything. I think this has to be one of those games where
I'm never worried about their offense with Josh McDaniels. I'm never worried about it. They scheme out of it so many times.
you can say that, just not this year, though. We haven't seen enough of it this year.
Yeah, this year is
running
different.
backs
Jacoby
also
Myers
have
is
not
the
helped at
worst
all.
wide receiver I've ever seen.
You know what's funny? Sony Michel's the worst running back I've ever seen.
Sony Michel can't run.
Imagine imagine drafting Sony Michel over Nick Chubb. Excuse me?
You just blew my mind.
I never understood, even when those two were on Georgia.
Nick Chubb was the starter on
Never
Georgia.
understood why Michelle got all the hype between the two of them.
And
Even going into the draft,
the
I didn't
take
get it.
that Belichick doesn't draft offensive players well is looking a lot.
Yeah, and you know what the other thing is that Sony Michel is a much louder kind of personality than Nick Chubb was, especially on Georgia. That's another thing that surprises me is that Nick Chubb wouldn't take the quiet kid over.
They just don't draft offensive players well. They haven't since Gronk.
Yeah, but Michel was really good last year.
Edelman was a lottery. Edelman was a quarterback from Kent State. Who saw him being a good wide receiver? Nobody.
See, last year, if the running game was as bad as it was this year, then at this time last year, we're probably looking at the same kind of offensive problems because they didn't have great receivers last year, but the running game was amazing.
I think the offensive line has...
It's just a whole collection of issues. You can't just point to one specific thing and be like, this is the problem or that's the problem. Brady has not played as good as he has in years past. He can't lift mediocre to below average talent into a...
Jacoby Myers is way below average.
I'm not discounting that, but
N'Keal Harry got hurt again.
if this was 5 years ago, Brady would be making these guys look like Randy Moss. And he's not at that stage of his career where he can carry an offense. So he has to rely more on short passes, more on
which is
throwing to
why
running
they
backs.
should have kept
And they
Antonio
were fine
Brown.
with that last year when their running backs were actually playing well.
Well, when their offensive line was playing well, and when
Yes.
Sony Michel was playing a lot better than he is right now. So
I just wish that they would just come out and say we're bringing Antonio Brown back.
they're not going
They're
to.
not.
They
And
have to.
They have to, but they're not going. The Patriots don't have to do anything. That's the thing. That's the thing that you don't realize.
You know what they didn't have to do was kick him off the team.
You know what they didn't have to do? They didn't have to sign him either. But they said, you know what, Tom? Here's a flashy new toy.
But that's what Tom needed, and they went out and got it.
And then you know what happened? He made an ass of himself. And the Patriots are hoity-toity, snobby. I'm not going to allow
Bill
that.
didn't want it,
There's
and
never
Brady
been a-
didn't want it.
There's never been a team with a receiver like that that's ever won a Super Bowl
That is a true.
with that kind of attitude.
That is a true statement.
That is true, but if there was any team to do it, who would do it?
The Patriots didn't do it with Randy Moss.
Okay,
best
that was
receiver ever.
that was fucking retarded. That was a retarded year when the Giants beat them in the Super Bowl. That was a retarded year.
Yeah,
Like
I guess.
we're talking about a game that came down to a guy catching a ball in his helmet. Like if that doesn't happen, they win the Super Bowl.
Red.
So
There's also a dropped pick from Patriots, one of the top safeties in the league. So there's a little more.
Somebody had a bet on the game. It went the other way. Whatever. Nobody got killed after, so
Oh, we don't know that.
all parties were happy.
Someone
someone
definitely
disappear?
got killed.
Someone disappeared.
Funny though
after the
that
game.
year all the records that the Patriots set happened to be against the Giants in a Week 17 game.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah,
Anyway,
38-35.
all
was
in
a great
all,
game.
I think this is a net right game for the Patriots this week.
Yeah, and they didn't cheat. It was, the thing that gets me though is like, why were they, like, I get they were filming for the do your job thing and they were just filming B-roll of the Cincinnati bench, but why?
They're not cheating. Come on.
Why?
I have no good explanation for it other than the fact that they.
Honestly, I hope people blow it out of proportion and say they're cheating. It'll only make them play better.
So here's another theory I've heard that Belichick did this purposely to get this guy caught to ramp up the team. So everyone's like, cheaters. You
I
can't win
can
without
see
cheating.
that. I can see that, but I don't believe that.
I don't believe that either. You
I don't
wanna
think
know-
Bill had
they've
any
had-
idea.
They've had 2 or 3 previous scandals with this type of stuff. They don't want to deal with this shit again.
I don't think they want to deal with this shit, but if there's ever a way to motivate your team, this is like pure motivation for them.
What was that?
your
Okay,
couch,
but
man.
like no, like I don't believe that theory.
I don't
believe-
either, but it is a theory.
I don't believe the theory that they were cheating. I really just think it was some bozos filming for the do your job thing, not realizing the league rules.
And it happened.
And it happened, and the Bengals got pissed and went to the league.
Yeah.
The Bengals were just butthurt. This could have easily just been swept under the rug. And
If
no
I was the
one cared.
Bengals, I would have said, why the hell would they be cheating against us?
That's what I'm saying. Like if you're a part of the Bengals staff, I'd be like, okay, I don't care.
Could have been anyone.
They're going to murder them this week.
Now imagine if they were playing somebody like, okay, like this year it would probably be Buffalo. People would be going nuts if they did this to Buffalo.
Oh, yeah. They would be like, what is this?
Or like Kansas City or something like that. Like people would be pissed. Like the people that thought when Kansas City's equipment didn't show up on time, they tried to blame it on the Patriots.
Yeah.
It's like, no, the equipment managers just didn't do their job and they're probably fired.
I think the most mad I've ever been in my life was when I didn't bet the San Francisco New Orleans over.
Oh my god.
And it was what, like 20, it was like 21-14.
Wait, before you get to that, let's talk more about the Patriots game in general.
Oh, against
against
City.
Kansas
We didn't
City.
even talk about that.
Yeah, we didn't talk about
The
that.
refs just lost
Great
their mind
catch
in
there,
that
Nolan.
game.
The refs,
Yeah, I've never really...
I was so frustrated because what happened to the Saints against the Browns earlier in the season where there was a fumble, a guy was going to return it for a touchdown and they blew it dead.
Saints-Rams, not Saints-Browns, but I get what you were saying.
Well, who was it?
Rams.
It was against the Rams, sorry. And they specifically made it a thing where they said, if this happens, we're going to let it go because we can go review it. What did they do? They
Not let
blew
it
it
go.
dead.
And then there's the Harry touch on the sideline. That
The
should
Harry
have been
catch
called a
that should have been a touchdown.
Easily a touchdown.
It would have changed the entire game.
I have never seen a game like that where the Patriots were on the bad ends of calls like that. Normally they're on the good ends of calls like that. I've never
Especially
seen this
at home, though. Like, you would think at home you get a little bit of something.
Mm-hmm.
That's normally what it is. I feel like that's the unwritten rule when officials are at
If
the
it's
home
50-50,
stadium.
they normally give it to the home team. So, I don't
And
know.
that one was just terrible. Like, it was another thing where you call it a touchdown so you can go review it. It's automatically
Yeah,
reviewed.
that's the part that really didn't make sense
Now,
to me.
the thing that scares me is, does this lock up Kansas City going to New England? Basically, if everything holds right now.
It would be
Yeah, before
Kansas
it-
City.
before-
Right now, it'd be Kansas City versus...
No, I mean, right now it'd be Kansas City, New England.
Yeah.
Before it was looking like Baltimore. Not anymore.
I don't like that.
No, but who's the other... Was it Buffalo?
Buffalo would be a wild card, though. They'd be at 5.
I thought hold on.
Buffalo is a better record than Kansas City, but they would still be a wild card.
Yeah, so if Buffalo were to finish with a better record than Kansas City, then they would still go to bowl.
No,
No, they wouldn't. Buffalo would go to
3 would play the 6, and the 6 would be like the Titans or someone, or like the Steelers.
Well, yeah, because right now... Oh,
I mean,
no,
yeah, this just depends on what happens in the wild card games.
Oh, no, this is just the... So the Patriots are 2 right now, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
Second?
New England and Kansas City could potentially be something.
So they'd play at home for the first game.
Yeah, Chiefs are 9-4, Texans are 8-5. So right now they would be 3. So 2 would play 3 if the Chiefs won their first game. I'm saying if it held to where it
Unless
is right now.
a 5-1, like Buffalo. And then Buffalo
Kansas
would go to
City
New
would
England.
have to play a team like if they were the 3.
No, I'm an
No.
idiot. I'm thinking of New England being the 1 seed.
No.
'Cause I'm so used to it. Buffalo would go to Baltimore, and Kansas City would go to New England.
Kansas City would go to New England as long as they won their game because they
Yes,
would be the
okay.
highest seed regardless.
For
And
some
they'd have a
reason-
they'd have a home game against the
fact,
6th seed.
Yeah, the fact that New England isn't a 1 seed this year totally just like
Throws
left
it off,
my
yeah.
mind for a
I
minute.
mean,
there.
them losing this weekend really kind of set like they need a miracle.
I
for
think
that,
so. I think
yeah, they need Baltimore to lose too.
which is not going to happen.
I think Kansas City could go into Baltimore and beat them. I don't know that New England can go into Baltimore and beat them. Honestly,
Honestly,
Yeah,
I don't
I
think
could see
New
Kansas City
England can't
doing
go
it.
anywhere and beat anybody.
as of right now.
As of right now, the only way they have a chance at getting to the Super Bowl is if it goes through New England. And right now, it's not looking like it. I don't know if they can go into Baltimore and win.
Imagine a Buffalo New England AFC Championship game. How weird that would
How
be.
fun would that be?
That would be really fun though.
If it was in, like, God, I want to see some playoff games run through Buffalo so bad. That'd be so
It's
fun.
a very good possibility.
There is a great possibility.
there is a possibility in that.
They're gonna be fired up to play the Patriots next week.
I want to, well, if we're talking about AFC playoff pitcher, I'll hold off on the Saints. I want to give Antonio a hand on pitching Denver plus 9.5 last week.
Yeah, I got some shit for that, but
It was a
Look
great
where we
pick.
are.
They won outright
Yeah,
as a
great
10-point
pick.
dog.
Drew Lock
I'd
had a
give you
great
that one.
game.
Houston is slowly fading away.
Weird team.
Tennessee plays them this week, and Tennessee's
Ooh,
been on
trouble.
fire. And I think if Tennessee wins, they're the leader in the clubhouse for the division.
I think they are because Houston and Tennessee are both 8-5, right?
I believe so, unless Tennessee is 7-6. But
No, they're both 8-5.
Yeah, they're both 8. Wow.
They're both
Yeah.
8-5, tied for first.
and it's in Tennessee too, and we know what happens when teams go to
And
Tennessee.
they play in 2 weeks. They play week 17 also.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and
Well,
it's
it came-
in Houston.
That division came down to the last game last year, too. It was Kansas
That's
City and
that's
the
gonna
Colts.
be a great.
Not
game.
Kansas City and the Colts. Tennessee and the
Houston.
Colts.
Or Tennessee, you're right.
That's gonna be a great game in 2 weeks, especially if Tennessee wins, because then Houston.
Tennessee's
will be at
winning
home.
this week.
Oh, 100%.
You can't
I
stop
think
them
so.
right now.
100.
And it's late season Derrick Henry, too. What are you going to do?
Late season Derrick Henry, 1 o'clock in Tennessee.
Yeah,
Give me Tennessee.
He's throwing 200 yards this week.
Oh my god.
Okay, I was so on tilt Sunday watching the stupid Saints 49ers game.
On the podcast, I
On the-
said smash the over.
On the podcast, you want to know why? Because I got scared. I said
you got scared.
I said this game's gonna be 7-3 if I bet this over.
The over-under was 45. The winning team had 46. No, the losing team had 46.
The losing team had 46 points by themselves. One team got there by themselves. How insane is that? We
did like San Francisco though.
we did like San Francisco on the pod. I
I
originally
think
said
that
I think
win-
everyone but me did.
I originally said I liked New Orleans, and I thought it over, and I was like, no, San Francisco.
I was really scared, but I liked San Francisco. I did not think that they would win. the game.
I've been a Jimmy Garoppolo, not apologist. I've been a Jimmy Garoppolo doubter, and
We were doubters of San Francisco in the beginning.
and he has slowly but surely proved me wrong that he can throw them into games.
This week,
I was a doubter
especially-
until I saw them play. Because we weren't getting them on TV around here in Connecticut.
I'm not.
Well,
I watch every game.
I have red zone.
So at that point, it's like I see him play, and like a game like when they played Arizona in Arizona, I don't think he played that well. When they played Washington in the rain, I know it was raining, but he didn't play that well. He just says
still wins though.
They win, but I feel like they were winning in spite of him, not because of him.
Yeah,
and lately,
This week they won because of him.
They're winning because of him.
He doesn't make a lot of mistakes.
I get it, though. They were beating the kind of average and mediocre teams, not by a lot or not really convincingly. But when they play these good teams, man, they take care of business.
They do. And you think about the one game they lost to Seattle.
They get another
That
shot
game
at 'em.
could have easily went either way.
You want to talk
Yeah,
about
it's an overtime game.
You want to talk about weird teams? Saints are a weird team.
They love giving up leads in the second half.
They just aren't.
They've been allowing a lot of points
We
lately.
went over this last week. They let their opponents hang around for a while.
For the whole game. If they want to, if you want to hang around with the Saints, they'll let you. They're not
Yeah,
going
and
to
you
put
think
you
about
away.
the broken Carolina Panthers when they
almost
played
beat them
almost beat. They were a 30-something field goal away
from being up 3.
And there was the Saints game on Thanksgiving. Not the Saints, the Falcons game on Thanksgiving.
They were up for most of it, but they still
That was a little bit of a fluke.
But still, like, all right,
3 onside kicks.
your special team should get one of those.
Yeah, obviously.
So I don't know. That's just they'll figure it out. But at the same time, Drew Brees is 40 years old, and if he has to go on the road, I don't know how much I trust him in like a cold weather game against.
And it's looking like they're gonna have to go on the road.
Because they'll be
A 3?
right.
Well, I think it's up in the air now between them, Seattle, and
because Green Bay's 2 right now. So like if they have to go on the
Oh,
road
wow. I didn't realize that they dropped down to the 3 seed.
after their loss,
because
they went down to
Green
3.
Bay has been looking shaky too lately.
They both have been looking shady, but if you tell me it's Rodgers and Lambeau
Green
against
Bay's weird too.
the Saints,
Imagine, dude, that game would be sick.
Saints.
That's a game that I would
Saints,
love
Green
to
Bay.
see in a dome though. Because that's where they could just go. Because I like.
We're not doing this.
We're not
You
do-
guys pissed on me when I talked about this before.
I know, but if we're talking,
love seeing games in the snow.
I
Yeah,
have
but if we're talking-
no problem where this game is played.
if we're
That is
talking
not-
Breeze and Rodgers, I want to see the
Let him
Saints.
just play. Let him just play, dude.
You're right.
It doesn't
No,
matter.
it-
We
it'll be a
talked
good
about
game.
this. We talked about
Yeah,
this.
no, let's not go into this.
You better
As soon
keep
as
that
he
same energy.
As soon as he said it, I was waiting for the fishing rod to go out there, and someone was gonna bite.
Yeah,
it.
no. Once I said the word
Triggered.
dome, I'm like, no.
yeah. Then
Okay,
you
this is
remembered
a
what we
great game
talked
wherever
about.
it's played.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh, because we know it's going to be a snowball if they go to Green Bay. It's always snowing in Green Bay. Just like it's always raining in Seattle, it's always snowing in Green Bay.
I'm trying to think of who would have been the 4 seed.
Cowboys.
Oh,
The Cowboys.
Oh my God.
They're going to get a home game.
I'm thinking of all these good teams. I'm like, it's not Minnesota. It's not. And then I was like,
Because think about who's the 3?
we just said Saints,
who's,
Green
yeah,
Bay,
New
San
Orleans.
Francisco,
Because they're the 4 seed. Who would they have to play? The 5 seed?
5. So it would be Seattle.
They're going to have to play Seattle at home.
They'll get crapped on.
Dude, this is exactly why the college football playoffs shouldn't allow more teams.
They did that last year, right? They played Seattle the first round. Yeah, they played Seattle the first round at home last year.
They just, man. And did you see someone was complaining and they said that the league should look at reseeding the playoffs because of this?
I don't agree with that at all.
No, the league said they're
I don't
not.
either.
I agree with them. How are they supposed to know that Eagles and Dallas are going to be shit?
Think about how many teams have had to go as a 6 or a 5 and run through their whole like bracket.
It was the Chargers last year. They had to go to New England and play with 11
It's just
wins.
a part of.
Yeah, but I think
it's just a part of the playoffs.
I think division winners should still be.
Yeah, because this happens once every like 4 or 5 years. Honestly, it's not like this happens.
And
every
at the
year.
beginning of the season, no one thought Dallas would be under 500.
Well, no one thought the whole NFC East would be under 500. That's not.
I mean, yeah, you could, like everyone would think that the Eagles would probably be 8-5. I thought maybe Dallas would be like 10-3 by now or 10-4. Like, I don't know. Like, you can't. This is not something that you can just predict.
Antonio had a great little week over there, didn't he?
What?
Rams, like he did everything. Everything he said came.
Yeah, I was real honest with you too.
We had a rough week. He had a good week.
I didn't have any explanation of me to saying the Rams. I had that feeling.
You know what? And here's the thing.
It
was a weird thing. It was one
It
of those
makes
weird
sense
things.
though. Like you get me.
No, I get you because the line was even. It was a pick, and I was like, whoa. And I didn't take the bait, and I took Seattle, but
No, you took the bait and you took Seattle. They wanted you to.
yeah,
take
whatever.
Seattle.
Yeah, I took the bait and I took Seattle.
I said Seattle, but that was not a game I was willing to bet on. The only thing I liked in that game was the over, and then Seattle just didn't score the ball. I thought the Rams would move the ball, but Seattle just could not move the ball in that defense.
The Rams are another one. They're like Dallas. They're so weird.
Hit or miss, and they play Dallas this week too.
That's smash the under in that game.
They'll beat Dallas. I think the Rams are making the playoffs.
I'm not an under.
Yuck! If they make the playoffs, dude, that's just not
The
right.
Rams, no.
They should.
They're a game behind the Vikings, and the Vikings, who are they playing coming up?
So the Vikings have been quietly kind of off, right? Or have they been playing good?
They're
Who did they play last week?
The Lions. Sorry, I'm yawning.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so besides that,
They're 7-2 in their last 9. The Vikings. So if you call that, slowing down. They
I
did.
mean,
Have, they
I'm
did have the
probably-
loss to
I'm-
the Seahawks, but it was a 30-30.
I'm probably wrong about that. I feel like I just haven't seen them.
So the Vikings play the Chargers, Packers, and Bears. Bears are starting to play a whole lot better right now. Packers are the Packers.
Oh, probably because they
And
had a bye in week
They're
12.
at the Chargers with, again, what we brought up before, that very, very hit or miss Chargers team.
I don't think the Rams are like. I think if the Rams get in the playoffs, they're losing in the first round, regardless of really who they play. Honestly,
I think that.
I think so, too.
I think they'll get in at they're either going 10-6 or 11-5.
your Arizona pick did not come to fruition either.
Nope. Disappointing.
I mean, that's kind of just a game where, like, who wanted to watch that?
I watched
That was-
almost
yeah.
no part of that game,
Yeah,
but
that was an ugly game.
I saw the kick return for the touchdown. That was the only thing I saw from that game.
And,
Pittsburgh.
yep. I don't know. Pittsburgh is playing a really like grimy game.
They're just
right now.
getting it done.
And they're just getting it done. Doesn't matter who the quarterback is. Doesn't matter who's on offense.
Hodges is a better quarterback than Rudolph. I don't know how.
Yeah.
people
Oh,
are saying
absolutely.
that. So they're a. I'm not going to even say mediocre. They're a very good football team, other than their quarterback position. And at that point, it's like,
And I saw people saying Mike Tomlin, Coach of the Year. I definitely agree. Between him and Kyle Shanahan.
was gonna say you could argue Shanahan,
Yeah, I'm trying to think of some other guys that we have in here.
Carroll. You could argue.
Yep.
I don't think so.
Harbaugh,
You think Sean McDermott gets any kind of recognition?
Sean
for it?
McDermott. I don't know. There are a couple
I guess
coaches.
Vrabel too.
Vrabel,
Vrabel.
if they win their division, you definitely should say Vrabel.
I like Vrabel.
I love
dude.
Mike Vrabel.
He
Dude.
gets fired up, dude. He like you said, he just loves football.
He said he would chop off his own dick to win a Super Bowl. Like
That is a man right there.
How do you not want to go to battle for him?
That is a
Like,
man that loves football.
That's awesome. That's just so.
He must
fun.
get his players so fired up in the locker room.
He's like, let's fucking go. Like,
Do you see when they were having practices with the Patriots? He was chirping Brady.
yeah,
He's like, jog on the field, jog on the field.
that was funny.
Brady's like, pay attention to your own shit.
Yeah, but now that you guys say it, I'm looking down the list of all the teams. Tomlin and Shanahan, I think right now are easily the two
Top
front
two,
runners.
yeah,
for
Top
Coach
two,
of the
yeah.
Year.
I just what Tomlin's done with his defense. He's gotten his defense to like take over the game.
I want to talk about this week.
What are you talking? What?
I'm just excited for these games.
Hold on, there was another.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think we have much else to touch on. We did talk about the Giants already. Detroit and Minnesota. That's really not much.
Ugh.
Thielen's probably coming back this week. That's what I'll say about Minnesota. And the Jets beat the
Okay,
Dolphins
yeah.
by
So
one.
let's move
Ew,
to next
Jets.
week then. Let's move to next week then.
All right, Jets Ravens. Get this out of the way. Lamar is playing as far as we are concerned right now. It is.
I
in
really hope
Baltimore.
that's wrong.
I think they should hold. Why not hold him out for a week? What is the
But
rationale?
here's the thing, though. Even if RG3 plays,
They're gonna beat him,
they're gonna beat him.
and they're gonna beat him by 10,
30.
like at least 10.
30.
With RG3 in there, at least 10.
30. It doesn't matter, dude. I could be playing for the Ravens and still beat the Jets by 30.
I would actually agree with that.
Like, just everything about that team, it just works as a unit. And it's supposed to be, if you plug in, like, as special as Lamar Jackson has been, I really think that if RG3 was in there, they'd still be a
they're
really
still-
good football team.
They still have their emphasis of running the ball.
Yeah, definitely.
They're just pounding it.
There's not much to say about the Jets. The Jets are the Jets. Like,
Yeah.
Le'Veon Bell wants to go bowling with the flu.
You pulled a 251. That's a damn good game.
It's a great game. Maybe you should bowl with the flu more often.
You think Le'Veon Bell's just checked out? I feel like
If I got paid that much money, I would check out.
Yeah, he doesn't give a shit.
a lot of people have been saying that he's been one of the leaders in the locker room, though.
What incentive do you have to be good? If you're on the Jets and you get paid regardless, you
I
have
just
that
feel
much
like
money.
Adam
Disappointing every
Gase
single
Adam
year.
Gase hates him, dude.
Adam Gase hates everybody. There's not. You want to know why Adam Gase has a head coaching job? Because he coached Peyton Manning for a couple years. That is the only reason why. Congratulations, dude. You really made it.
And because he has 2 wins against Belichick. It's just these little spots here and there.
Because Rob Gronkowski was on the field playing safety. Congratulations, Adam Gase. You
There's these
coached really good.
There's these little tiny spots in his, coaching career that you're like, oh yeah, that's why he has a job.
So you're obviously taking Baltimore. Are you
Yeah.
taking Baltimore?
I just want the Jets to win.
So many.
much.
No, stop.
What?
Baltimore.
What?
I almost talked myself into the Jets plus 16. It's
Is
a lot
it
of
16 now.
16.
I think I looked. I think it was like
It's in Baltimore. Fuck that. Baltimore minus.
it was
16 and a half.
19 when I first looked at it.
Oh, it's definitely down from there.
Yeah, it's 16 and a half on mine. So, yeah.
I'll take Baltimore.
Yeah, are we going on a round of minus 16 and a half football?
Yes.
16. We're not saying 16 and a half. I have 16.
All right, we'll do 16. But yeah, like without question. And here's the thing, wait, time out. We said this about Carolina last week against Atlanta.
You bet against Atlanta?
No. We all
was
had
the
a round
spread?
of
That could-
Carolina.
Oh, I thought you were
Oh.
saying the reason that we're doing this is because you bet against a specific team.
No. We all said Carolina was
Yeah,
gonna
but that line
rape.
was massive.
I know it wasn't massive, but Carolina's winning that game,
They should have.
and they should have.
And then they lost by 50.
I'm hyping it up because I really want the Jets to win because I'm
All right.
a Patriots fan.
The 1 o'clock game of the weekend, Houston and Tennessee. In Tennessee, the spread is -3 for the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, so
Tennessee is 6-1 as with Ryan Tannehill starting. They've won their last 4. Tannehill has
they're rolling right now, and the only team that could stop them from rolling is Houston. But here's the thing: these teams are so similar on paper. The only difference is they have better coaching, and Houston has a better quarterback.
Tennessee's at home.
No, I'm saying Tennessee has better coaching. Houston has a better quarterback. But I'm taking Tennessee just because they're at home at 1 o'clock. Derrick Henry's going to run 1,000,000 yards.
I'm not stepping in front of the Tennessee train. Like I don't know how you pitch against them right now. It would be very hard to go up to the window for me and bet on
another team that I didn't really believe
Houston.
in.
Who, Tennessee?
I only believed in them that 1 week against Kansas City just because my take that when good teams go down there, they somehow just pull out a win out of their ass because they're not known for scoring a lot of points. But then when they're at home against a good team, they score 30 plus.
Always.
Yeah, so you know what? They're scoring 35 this week, and they're beating Houston.
I don't truly believe in either of these teams, but I'm gonna go against you guys and take Houston +3. Tennessee's a train that everyone's riding right now. Houston's coming off of a terrible, terrible loss, so why not Houston?
All right. Kansas City -10.
Also, might I bring up that Tennessee is 8-5 and they have to go 9-7, so they need their 2 games.
That's
just
true.
your own little theory over there.
Kansas City -10 at home against Denver. Denver's been playing well. Drew Lock has looked all of the part.
He won his first 2 starts.
2-0.
Very big wins too, by the way.
A divisional opponent, and then Houston. I mean, can't ask much more than that.
Blew out Houston too.
Oh yeah, took him behind the shed.
This is
what?
face for?
What is
This
this
is
smirk for?
This is the same spread as it was last week. Denver was +9.5 last week. Give me Kansas City.
Oh, so we're going opposite now?
Yeah.
You're playing
Kansas
the house.
City's going to absolutely throw
You're playing
it
the
out.
house, and the house always wins, bitch.
I'm gonna go opposite of him. I'm gonna take Denver.
I also want to take Denver.
I don't know. I'll take Drew Lock in 10 points.
I think they cover. I don't think they win this week, but I think they cover.
I don't.
I think Kansas City wants to keep pace. But here's the thing to me, though.
It's gonna be like 27-20.
Kansas City was not that impressive to me against the Patriots in the second half. They did not look good. Everything about Patrick Mahomes looks brittle to me.
You've been saying this.
I think he's playing.
I mean, he
hurt.
definitely is playing more.
He got
passively.
hurt in like the beginning of there was something with his hand or whatever. He got hurt there, and he's just limping around. I don't know how he
didn't
sometimes he scrambles
he didn't do
for
much
like
special against the Patriots.
No, he didn't.
He did what he had to.
Did what he had to, but I don't know. I think he's one bad hit away from
Really screwing something up. I would agree, but hey,
he has to play though.
Yeah, they need him out there.
They need him.
Detroit +3 at home against our Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Probably Blau. I don't see why they would bring Stafford back at this point in the year, honestly.
I mean,
And the other guy,
just because Stafford wants to play so bad, but
the other guy is out for the rest of the season. Driscoll is out for the rest of the year.
what happened to him? Was it a?
I don't even remember what his
I thought
injury
he,
was.
Matt Stafford is out, I guess.
Okay, so bottom line, this is a really bad team when Stafford
Tampa's
isn't
6-7.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're on a 3-game winning.
They're
streak.
gonna go 500.
Yeah, they're on a 3-game winning streak.
Give me Tampa -3. Enough said.
With you there.
Come on, Nolan, make it round of bucks.
fuck it, round of bucks.
Thank God.
Where are we? New England -9.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can we all just say New England -9.5?
Yeah, I don't think there's much to talk
Round of
about.
New England. Move on next.
Oh my God, the New York Giants at home against the Dolphins. Is this the worst game in NFL history? Is Eli Manning playing?
The fact that the Dolphins have more wins.
Oh,
than the
Eli
Giants.
Manning is 100% playing this week because he needs a win for his overall record. Because now he's 116 and 117 for his career. So he's playing this week.
Fitzmagic's coming to town.
They're gonna lose.
With Miami?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but by more than 3.5 is the question. They love 3.5. Like, why not 3? I'm still taking the
They don't want
Giants.
to push. Come on now.
I'm taking the Giants.
I'll take the Giants.
If Eli's
they just
playing, give me
lost
the
the
Giants. If
Meadowlands.
he's not, give me the Dolphins.
100% with you on
Because
that.
we've seen this multiple times where Fitzmagic plays against his old team and does well. So
I mean, this isn't his old team. It's his old building.
What? What do you?
The Packers -4 against the Bears at home, and it was -7, and it's dropped 3 points already.
This is a bit because they looked. First of all, the Bears are coming off a big win, and the Packers haven't looked very well.
Give me Green Bay.
I was gonna say this. Could
You
easily...
really want to go up to the window and
Hold
bet
on.
Mitchell Trubisky? You want to say, "Here's my hard-earned money. Please let me bet on
See,
Mitchell
because
Trubisky."
here's the thing though. I feel like Chicago's finally figured it out.
That's what they want you to think. That is what they.
They want you to think that Green Bay is winning by a lot. They want you to think that.
This is real tough for me because Green Bay is indeed at home, and with the way they've been playing lately, an absolute shit kicking of Chicago wouldn't surprise me. But at the same time, I can see this being a 3-point win for Green Bay at the end, and Chicago covering and losing by a field goal.
This is the
'Cause
scary
they are
one of the
playing
week.
well.
If Green Bay goes up 14-0 to start the game, there is literally a 0% chance the Bears cover. 0.
But their defenses look kind of shaky.
Yeah, but then every time I just think about this quarterback matchup, man, it's
I never.
and we're in Green Bay. It could still be close and then, lose by more than that.
Nolan.
Part of me thinks the Bears will keep this game close, but
Nolan.
we'll go to you.
This is such a scary game, dude.
I'm taking Green Bay, but that was made very obvious.
Give me Green Bay.
Yeah, I wanted to
If
really
it was seven,
If it was 7, I would maybe think about taking the Bears, but
I would take the points. If it was 7,
at 4, you would just have to. I think you just have to take Green Bay.
like at 4, like these two teams. Well, I mean Green Bay, like scoring touchdowns.
And I don't know why, but I just feel like the Bears are one of those teams everyone wants to bet on. Everyone.
that's the thing. I'm right now. I'm thinking
And that's what they're
about all the
telling you with
options.
this line going down.
Everything is telling me go with the Bears, but then I just look at this one little separate thing, and I see that they're playing in Green Bay, and then I think about Aaron Rodgers and Mitch Trubisky, and I want to take Green Bay.
Like it
So
looks so
I'll
lopsided
take
on
Green
paper.
This could really be an absolute blowout, but
But it
again,
also
could be
scares
like
it
a
also
6-point
scares me
win
though
for
that this is
Green
a
Bay.
1:00 game. When the Bears play the Packers, it's always a night game,
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's always a good game too.
and it's always a good game. So does this mean that at 1:00 is going to be a blowout by the Packers?
Give me Green Bay.
Yeah, we got a round of.
I might be using that later on in this podcast.
No, please don't.
Oh, I might. Seattle minus 6.
It was gross of me to put the Rams in my pick 3 last week, and I did.
That wasn't
No,
gross.
it was gross of you to put Denver in your pick 3.
That
last
was
week.
gross. It wasn't gross.
just
That was
worked
just a
out well.
bold. That was a bold take putting them in there because Seattle had been rolling before last week.
Yeah, and I took the bait.
Seattle minus 6 at Carolina.
This is another one. Why is it 6?
I don't want to think about it too much.
Just because they
give
lost
me-
to the Rams?
Uh,
Bro, Carolina has not done anything
Okay,
the past 2 weeks.
here's something I'm gonna say. Carolina has historically, when Pete Carroll's been the coach, played them very well.
Carolina?
Well,
Carolina
they killed him
has.
in that playoff game.
They killed him in the playoff game, but the year that Cam won MVP, they won in Seattle. I think they had a game the next year in Carolina where they won or they lost by like 1 point. I feel like of like the 6 or 7 games they played under Carroll, it's been like a 3-point game. So I don't necessarily think Seattle is not capable of blowing them out. I just think against a team like Carolina, for whatever reason, they don't. So I'm going to take.
Because this could easily be a Carolina bounce back sort of game.
That's why I'm taking Carolina plus 6.
I don't want to think about it too much. Just give me Seattle.
Do I take the bait again, Sal?
Is it bait though? You don't know it's bait.
I'm not going for the.
I won't know it's bait until Sunday afternoon. Give me Seattle.
All right.
I think they're gonna be
I think
fired up.
that's
They
the
want
intelligent choice.
they want to keep pace.
Call
They
me
don't want to lose
stupid?
now.
A little bit.
You calling me stupid, boy?
Are you putting that in your pick 3,
Who?
Antonio?
Who knows? I don't really know who I'm going with yet.
I forgot who I.
Philly minus 4.5 at Washington, down from 6 originally. Yikes.
Honestly,
Washington?
yes.
Philadelphia.
Washington wins this week. Washington wins this week.
Oh,
Really?
They look like they played well against the
Ugh.
Packers. As
They-
crazy as that
They've been
sounds,
playing- Oh, wait. No, I can't do it.
The only thing, Sal, that should hold it back is if Darius Geis is playing.
I'm not betting on the Redskins. Come on.
I'm gonna take the Eagles and I'm gonna hold my nose. That's my pick, and I don't feel.
There's some sticky games.
There are some stinky games.
There's some sticky games this weekend.
No. There's some really bad games, like what Cleveland, Arizona, Jacksonville, Oakland.
Games that just don't even matter for anything.
So Jacksonville, Oakland. What are we saying?
It's 6.5 for Oakland.
The last home
Oakland hasn't
game.
played good in a few weeks, so why not? Oakland minus 6.5.
Okay, I just looked. Oakland's lost their last five against the spread, so I have to take Jacksonville. Jacksonville's lost their last 5 against the spread, so at that point I have to take Jacksonville because that's just how it works.
But is this you're going back on your take that this is their last home game, so they're going to be fired up?
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
They're going to be fired up. The last game
I
in
didn't
the
even think
Coliseum.
about that when I blurted out Raiders minus 6.5. But
It's a great chance for them to beat up and go out on a high note.
Yeah, they get
in
a
that
rookie
stadium.
quarterback.
You talked me into Oakland. Give me Oakland.
Let's go.
Yeah, give me Oakland. Cleveland versus Arizona. Yeah. Give me Arizona.
Battle the Oklahoma quarterbacks. This makes this game
that morale in that locker room is so low.
Looking back at it,
and this is another thing when teams go in Arizona, they don't play
I did
well.
just call this a really shitty matchup, but
Yeah, give me Arizona.
There's a little bit of interest to this game with the quarterback matchup.
So you're taking.
Is there though?
I think so.
On one,
I'm sick of Baker.
On one side there is. I would say it's on Arizona's side.
Yeah.
The last 2 Heisman winners. But yeah, give me Arizona.
Give a shit about Heisman. That was fucking.
We're all taking the same
was
picks.
2 years
and
ago.
I don't like it.
I don't like it either, but I'm not gonna. I don't feel like going against what I really believe.
So you think Cleveland's gonna win?
Huh? No, I don't think Cleveland's winning.
So you think Arizona wins by more than 2.5?
I'm in there plus 2.5.
Or
Cleveland's favored.
you think that?
I think Arizona wins.
So a round of Arizona. All right. Well, Cleveland's winning. Next game.
Minnesota minus 2.5 at the Chargers.
That's it, huh?
Why is it 2.5, Sal?
Because the Chargers are winning that game.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I knew he was gonna say
I really
that.
expected that to be a bigger line, and I would have been like, "Oh, Chargers all the way." But I'm still gonna take the Chargers
This
they're
is
winning
just
this
like
game.
when Green Bay went in there, Sal. It's gonna be a lot of Minnesota
didn't
fans.
I agree with you on the Chargers when it came to Green Bay? And you were scared because I agreed
Yeah,
with you?
we all agreed.
Oh, we
That
all
was
did.
the night. That was the night that you called Rendon hitting Soto hitting a home run.
I did.
Wow, that was a long time ago.
that was
feels
exact-
like a long time ago, but it wasn't.
That was when he's called that, and I was like, okay, the Chargers are winning, and the Chargers won.
I still think the funniest video I've ever seen was that video the Chargers posted, and they were like, "Hey, what happened?" And then they were like, "The Chargers beat Aaron Rodgers," and it's like the German kid dancing in the pub. I don't know why I thought that was so
honey,
funny.
what happened?
Anyway, off topic. I'm going back to the well, and I'm taking the Chargers because they're winning that game.
How's that off
Me too.
topic? That's
Oh.
on topic.
Is that their last home game with Phillip Rivers? That being Phillip's last home game?
I don't think so.
Yes, it is.
Is it?
Oh no, it's not. They have a game against Oakland next week. I'm still gonna go with the Chargers, but I don't feel as confident as they did a couple minutes ago.
I am gonna go against you guys and take Minnesota.
Wait, you
I
took
think-
the Chargers?
I did.
Oh wow, really?
I expected the line. Like I said, I
Oh,
expected the
shit.
line for Minnesota.
I thought you were saying you're still taking Minnesota.
No, I expected Minnesota to be favored by more, so I was prepared to take the Chargers. But even when I saw plus 2.5, I still like the
So
Chargers.
I'm going against you guys taking Minnesota. I just think this game is too big, or there's too much at stake for Minnesota to lose at this point in the year.
And that's exactly why they're going to lose.
The Kyle Shanahan Bowl at 425. 49ers play the Falcons, facing his old team.
So wait, what was it?
49ers minus Falcons, or 49er minus Falcons. 49ers versus
49er.
Falcons in
Falcon
San Francisco.
play 49er.
San Francisco favored by 11.
They're telling you something, it being that much, or
That's a lot.
Atlanta coming off of that big win. So what, do you think they cover?
I think Kyle Shanahan's out for blood. I'm going to take San Francisco.
I agree. I think that's probably why it's 11.
Antonio liked that.
I think a lot of people are betting on San Fran to win this game.
Oh, definitely. So I don't know where the line started, but 11 and that's not good. 11.5, and it went down to 11, but everyone's betting San Francisco.
Everyone's betting San Francisco, dude.
But at that point, you would think it would go the other way, so it would get to like 12 or 13, but it's going towards the Falcons.
I just
I
can't see it though.
There.
Like, I get it. Atlanta tried to prove us wrong last week. They're not proving us wrong this week. San Fran is routing them. There's no way they can come off beating the Saints in a shootout like that and come home to lose to Atlanta.
Okay, the only problem I'm going to bring up is they play the Rams next week, and are they looking ahead to that game?
What, you think that they overlooked this game?
Not like overload,
yeah,
but
not lose the game, but
maybe they
closer than it should
maybe
be.
the game starts off and it's like
I mean, yeah, good.
So then you're taking the points. Then you don't think Atlanta's beating them?
the only thing that's keeping me on San Francisco is the whole Kyle Shanahan thing.
That's a pretty good point by Sal because that kind of reminds me of what I said earlier. Is San Francisco kind of not really beating these bad teams convincingly?
Oh my God, I'm switching my pick. Give me Atlanta. Oh, that feels so gross.
Yeah, when we first started
gonna have
talking
to
about
take a
this
shower
game, I
after
wanted
this.
to take the Niners, but then going right back to that, things are telling me I should take the Falcons.
I'm taking the
And
Falcons.
I can see this being like a 7, 8, 9 point win by the 49ers.
See, I disagree with you guys again. Not because of the whole Kyle Shanahan thing, but I just think that this defense is going to eat Matt Ryan alive. And I think this is going to be...
I wouldn't be surprised.
What was the week? Who was the team that they played where Matt Ryan just got beat up and got hurt? Who would they play? That game that he got hurt, and then Matt Schaub played next week or whatever it was.
The Rams.
Was it the Rams? So, like, is the defensive line better than the Rams' defensive line?
The 49ers have the best defensive line in the league, so yeah.
So I think that this is a similar situation. I don't think Matt Ryan's moving the ball at all.
Fair.
So
Yeah,
I don't feel great about it, but
I'm feeling a lot of pull in this game right now.
I think they win by 14, and that's going to be my call.
I'm sitting here like, did I just take Atlanta plus 10.5? But no, I'm sticking with it.
the Rams -1 at the Dallas
Sal's
Cowboys.
set up for this one. He's excited.
That means he's taking Dallas. He's definitely taking Dallas.
he's
No
horny
way he
for
takes the
Dallas.
Rams. He hates the Rams.
Give me Dallas.
Dallas has to win this game.
They don't have to win this game. That's the thing. That's the thing that annoys me.
If the Eagles
I've been saying this for 3 weeks. They don't need to win any of these games. They have to beat
It's
Washington.
only the game that they play against
They
the
have to
Eagles
beat
next
the
week.
Eagles and they have to beat Washington. As long as they win both those games, they're in the playoffs, regardless.
I
of
think
anything
just
else
as
that
long as they
happens.
win the game next week, they're in.
No, they have to beat Eagles and they have to beat Washington, because then they'll have like some.
Dude, if they lose this week, they can't finish with a winning record.
Correct.
I want to take the Rams so bad.
It's going to end up that whoever wins that division
It's
is
gonna be 7-9.
hosting a playoff game with a losing record, which I don't think has ever happened before.
No, Seattle did it a couple of years ago when Marshawn had that run.
Against the Saints? Beast mode?
They were 7-8-1. I want to say.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to do this because this kind of contradicts. Not really contradicts.
Dallas.
But it puts a little bruise on what I said about the Rams making the playoffs, which they can still make the playoffs if they lose this game.
Both teams
I
could
think
win.
Dallas
Could
is-
make the playoffs if they lose this game.
Yeah, I think Dallas is going to win, though. I don't see them sitting there at
I'm-
6-8.
Sal is fired up. for
I'm
this
strictly betting against Jared Goff. I'm not betting on the Cowboys. I just don't think the Rams are that good.
one. The only thing that gets the Rams going is if Todd Gurley has 20 plus carries. By the way, they're 6-1 when Todd Gurley has 20 plus carries.
I think they're pissed about last year's playoff game too, and I think that'll actually have something that'll motivate
Now I
them.
kinda
But
wanna
here's the
take
thing, though. Todd Gurley had a big workload last week. Is his knee hurting for this week?
He's had a big workload, like 2 out of the last 3. Because the game before,
Is that knee getting sore, though?
the Bears probably. I mean,
How bad is his knee, dude?
he has arthritis in his knees, so I don't
That
know how many
sucks, dude.
I don't know how many carries he can take or how if
It
he's
really
even close
sucks
to
for him,
100%.
too.
Yeah.
God,
feel bad.
I felt so good about just taking the Cowboys there, but now I'm starting to think about the Rams.
Antonio, what's your pick? 3, 2, 1.
Cowboys.
Okay.
Cowboys.
Oh God, they're gonna lose. Oh,
The only time that it works is if we all do a round of bucks. That's the only time it works.
Pittsburgh, Sunday night, -1.5 against the Buffalo Bills.
This is gonna be game of the week.
I don't know. This feels like a snooze fest.
I don't think so.
What is this?
If you call a low-scoring game a snooze fest, get out of here because you're looking at the TV the entire time if you're watching a low-scoring defensive game.
I don't think this is a
because
low-scoring
you're waiting
game.
for someone to do something.
If I don't bet on this game, I'm gonna have no interest on a 17-14.
I have a lot of interest in
Duck
a game like
Hodges versus Josh Allen, Josh Allen game.
that. Two great defenses against each other. Give me that. I'm excited to watch this game.
Who's your pick, Mr. Buffalo Bills fan?
Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, obviously. Nolan.
Buffalo Bills. No one circles the wagons. Like
I've been so wrong about the Steelers in every game this year. They're the one team
They're a
cannot
great
figure
team.
out. No,
for some reason.
every week that I am off them, they kill me, and every week I want to bet on them, they lose. It doesn't. The only game I doubt right about them this whole year was the Chargers game.
So you're betting the Bills?
I'm taking the Steelers.
Okay.
And
So they're losing.
so this means that they're gonna lose. But I feel like the Steelers
See,
win
I
this
could
week.
see this being one of those games where everyone goes into it thinking that it's the defense. Defenses have to come up big. I think this is like a 34-31
No
31
way.
game.
The over-under's 36.
They're just saying that because the defense
12-7.
Like 14-10.
Sal, the over-under for the Saints-49ers game was 46.
I don't wanna talk
There's
about
gonna
it.
be a safety in this game. That's happening.
You know you
They
can
want
bet
a
that.
that is happening.
You can bet
I
that.
might bet it. I might put like $4 on that.
Just 4? Put 10 on it, you
Ugh.
pussy. Throw $10 down the well.
Last game of
See
the
if we
week.
get gold back.
Last game of the week before I picked 3. The New Orleans Saints at home in the Superdome against the Indianapolis Colts.
This is icky. This game is icky. Yeah. Everything about this game should tell you that the
this
Saints are
just
going to blow them out.
Not really that. This just screams the Saints being up
When
by
have
10.
you ever seen the Saints play the Colts?
Never. I could not tell you the last Saints Colts game.
So like,
Super
I mean the Super Bowl, yes, obviously, but like
yeah,
a
that was
regular.
like 100 years ago.
I'm saying like a regular season game.
Yeah, this doesn't scream to me like blowout Saints, but it screams Saints will be up by 10 the entire game.
Give me the Saints. Give me the
Michael
Saints.
Thomas might have 400 yards.
Yeah.
This could be a game where they get Alvin going
Alvin
too.
Kamara breakout game a week after.
Salad, it's not.
Yeah,
Not a
but
breakout.
Just when Sal
Not
doesn't
a breakout
need him.
game, but like a.
Well, I mean, he hasn't scored since like last year, so I mean that would be nice if he could actually down the end
He hasn't
zone.
scored like since birth, so.
He's had 2 touchdowns this year, and they came in 1 game. So he's played 13 games this year where he has had no touchdowns.
I feel like it's all been like Jared Cook, really.
Jared Cook or
And Michael
Taysom
Thomas.
Hill or Latavius
They
Murray.
love Taysom Hill.
They love Latavius Murray.
They love Latavius Murray.
They did the same thing last year with Ingram, I feel like.
Just
I mean there were, but
Kamara had like 16 touchdowns.
I get
last
what you're
year.
saying,
Ingram
but there were some
was
games where
awesome last
Ingram
year.
was like the main focus.
Oh yeah, but every game it's Latavius Murray, and
Yeah.
none of the games this year it's.
I just think it's because Kamara's banged up. I think that they don't want to disclose how banged up he is, and I still think he's banged up.
I'm team never draft Alvin Kamara down. I'll never.
I've
take
done
him
it
down.
2 years in a row, but this year I traded him away.
I've always kind of stayed away from him.
What's your pick?
Saints.
What's your
Saints.
pick?
We agree on a lot. Right?
Okay, before we get to pick 3, I want to talk about the college football playoff really quick.
So you took the Saints.
I took the Saints.
I do want to talk about the college football playoff too.
Do we agree with the rankings?
Yes.
Yeah, even though I think Clemson's going to shit kick Ohio State, I do agree with the rankings.
I think LSU has proved over the course of the season that they're definitely number 1.
Oh, I
especially
100% agree with them being number 1.
especially with how they beat Georgia, and people were saying that Georgia could win
Their
that game.
schedule was brutal.
And they lost 1 game, and it wasn't even like
No, LSU didn't lose 1 game.
no. Oh,
And they love
went-
beating
they went
Alabama.
undefeated.
did they really go undefeated?
They went undefeated.
I thought they lost 1 game.
No,
13 and
their
0.
schedule
Oh yeah, they're
was
number 1, no doubt. then.
easily.
They beat Alabama, dude.
They really
They
didn't
beat
lose a
Alabama.
game?
They beat
In
Auburn.
Alabama.
They beat Florida.
Why did I think they were 12
They
and
beat
1?
I don't know.
Maybe you didn't you say something about Georgia? Maybe you thought they lost to Georgia in the regular season. I don't know.
Wow, I can't believe that. Yeah, they're definitely number 1.
Should we talk about Alabama, number 13 on the list?
They're in the Rose Bowl, or what bowl are they in?
They're playing Michigan.
They're playing them in the Peach Bowl.
That should be a fun game to watch.
Neither of those teams want to play in that game.
No, but when you get to see Alabama and Michigan playing each other,
Almost never.
Jim Harbaugh.
Harbaugh's done after this game.
You think so? Do you think they fire him or he leaves?
He steps down, but I think he might latch on somewhere else.
Be like 36-16 Alabama.
Something weird.
Do you think he goes to another college team?
I think he goes back to the NFL.
I think he should too. I agree with you. I was gonna say
Dallas. Why not Dallas for him?
He could be the one that could like tell Jerry Jones off if Jerry Jones was getting too.
That's
iffy.
not what Jerry Jones wants, but that's what Jerry Jones needs.
But he's not gonna. He's the one that makes that decision to hire
Right. That's
somebody.
what I'm saying. So like at that point, I don't.
What if like Jim Harbaugh goes in there and is just like, no, I'm coaching this team now.
Shut up.
Shut up. I'm the owner now. I am the captain now.
He when he was coaching San Francisco, they played really well under him. So I don't know. I would like him. I'd like to see him in Dallas. I think he's way past his due in Michigan. I don't think that was not like that wasn't a good signing, but it just didn't work out.
Yeah, the Peach Bowl is the LSU Oklahoma game.
That game I have a weird feeling about.
Why?
I feel like Oklahoma keeps it close. I feel like
they kept it close with Alabama.
I think
last year.
Ohio State and Clemson both keep it close, and this game stays close. Like I think that we are in for a really
what's
good playoff.
crazy?
There's always one blowout in these semifinal games.
See, I get what you're saying, but I think this
That's
year
gonna be
it's
Clemson.
like
what if
really
it's
good.
Ohio State? You don't think Ohio State can blow out Clemson?
Ohio State hasn't seen an offense like this.
So they put out like fake lines for if like the teams advance, and if Clemson played LSU, do you know what the spread would be?
I don't know, but if that game happens, talk
Oh,
about
would
a
it be
game.
like
Take-
6 or 3?
Take your guess. I just want to hear what you would think.
Would it be
2.5 for LSU.
LSU
Yeah, LSU like minus 2.5.
4.5?
Clemson -3.
Really?
Yep.
If
I
you
was
look at
shocked
both
when I
their
saw that.
if you look at both their schedules, it shouldn't even be close.
Look at both their teams though.
You want to know the
This-
even weirder part? You know where the finals
Clemson
you know
is
where
just NFL player after NFL player.
But so's LSU.
you
though.
know
so's any SEC team.
You know
Or,
where the
no,
finals
Clemson's
being
not in
played?
the SEC, but
in the Superdome in New Orleans.
The final, yeah.
LSU all the way.
I don't see any reason why you wouldn't take them.
I'll bet it right now.
They're the best team I've seen all year.
I agree. They've been better than Clemson. I think it'll be such a great game though.
I think they beat Oklahoma by like 4 or 7. I think they keep it
And
really
Joe
close.
Burrow's winning the Heisman. I think that's a lock.
Yeah, oh
by
yeah,
now.
Easily.
that's yeah. And I know Antonio doesn't like this. I think Ohio State wins.
The whole thing,
I think Ohio State beats Clemson, and then I think it's a very, very good final. And I think
which is it's always on New Year's Day or New Year's Eve, right?
the 2 semifinals are, and then a week later it's the final.
Got it.
I think when you just take a look at Clemson and see that their defense, which was hailed all year last year, has actually played better this year, and their offense consists of Trevor Lawrence, Etienne, Justin Ross, T. Higgins.
You have
all
like
guys,
you have a boner for Trevor Lawrence.
Loves Trevor
all
Lawrence.
guys that are easily going to be in the NFL.
You have a man crush on Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, he's beautiful, and he's going to be the best quarterback to ever play.
What, in the NFL?
Yeah.
So, but here's the thing though. He's got to go low in the first round. Where do you think he ranks right now?
He's going number 1.
Yeah, but he's
You
not.
think so?
He's not going to be in this draft. He has to wait till next year because he's a sophomore.
He's a sophomore.
Yeah, he still has 1 more year.
Yeah, he's going to go 3 years without losing.
Shit, I did not know
He's
that.
literally going to go 3 years
No,
without
he's
losing a football
not.
game.
LSU will beat them if they play. We're gonna bet that. I'm not betting through.
I wouldn't want to bet on that
Side
game.
bet.
LSU's
Are you
really good.
kidding?
I'm-
How scared are you?
I'm petrified.
You literally are preaching to the choir that Clemson is the best team ever since sliced bread, and you won't.
Yeah, but
bet
then
them
when you
against
bring up LSU, I'm like,
I would never bet Ohio State against Clemson, but LSU against Clemson, I feel like LSU would. I'm not going to say destroy them, but LSU would. Win
no,
that
that's
game.
going to be such a good
LSU
game
would
when that happens.
100% win that game.
Right now, it's LSU's championship to lose right now.
I agree.
It's what I'm saying. I guess a possibility that this guy goes 3 years as a starting quarterback without losing a game.
Thank you. That's all I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear.
So
it's
where does
already
Joe
done.
Burrow
LSU's
go
probably
then?
going to beat them.
Number 1.
You think so?
They both are going number 1.
I don't want that. I don't want that for him because then he's gonna go to fucking Cincinnati. I don't want that.
Can't do anything about it.
Bad coach, bad ownership.
Bad organization.
Pray that AJ Green plays or
Yep.
doesn't leave.
They don't have a bad group of young receivers though.
That's still not what he needs.
All right. I guess it's time for our favorite part of the show.
All right, so
Hold
hold on. Last week, I finally did the thing that I
Ofer.
haven't done. I did an Ofer 3. Sal went 1-2,
Yep.
and Antonio went 2-0-1.
2-0-1, a push.
So I am 14-13. Sal is 17-10. Antonio's 14-12-1.
Ew.
Yeah, you're gross.
Moved into second place here. When we all have winning records.
Nolan,
I'll go first.
I will have you go first. Yes.
No one's in the basement. Number 1. Buffalo +2.
Didn't work out last week.
Against the Steelers. I don't care. They're winning this week.
Who was the team that used to ride? Was it the Jets?
Dolphins.
But I rode them for a good 5 weeks.
Like every week you.
And they fucking won again. They were amazing against the spread. Number 2.
No, it was Jacksonville that you were chasing.
I chased them for a couple weeks, but
They
there
were
was
like-
1 week that I bet against or bet with them, and they still didn't cover.
You bet with them 1 week and then against them 1 week and then they flip flopped.
Whatever. Number 2. Dallas +1.5.
Wow.
This is a game that they have to win, and I just think that regardless of what Jerry Jones is saying, regardless of what Jason Garrett isn't coaching or saying, whatever, they have to win this game. So
Dallas.
Dallas. Last but not least, Tennessee -3.
Yeah, I like that.
I think we all feel it.
Not Antonio.
Not Antonio, but I don't know. They're beating Houston.
Antonio, do you want to go next? You have the option.
You had the best record, so it's up to either you or Sal.
Yeah, I can. I'll let Sal go last. My first pick.
I feel like Sal always goes last. Let Sal go first.
All right, go for it.
You never get to go last.
Green Bay -4.
I just love how you came out like that.
In Lambeau, I have no reason to put money on Mitchell Trubisky on the road in Green Bay.
Please don't do it, Sal. This is the icky game of the week, though.
I'm taking Green Bay.
Yeah, but the more you think about it, the less icky it becomes, and you're like, yeah.
I know, but I'm gonna be thinking about it until Sunday, and I'm just gonna be like,
I'm not thinking about it anymore.
I'm thinking about it.
This is Green Bay's
Number 2.
The Chargers +2.5.
Yeah, I see you looking at your phone. This is a tough week to take 3 from.
I'm taking the Chargers. It doesn't feel great. I'll take the 2.5. Maybe they lose by 1 or 2, but I think they could win that game. Kirk has to play bad 1 week. I think this could be the week, so I'll take.
We hate Kirk Cousins.
We
but
hate-
it's not
oh,
in
yeah.
prime time though, Sal.
We hate Kirk Cousins, but how good has he been?
He's been good.
I'm rolling with the Chargers. I don't love it, but I'm rolling with the Chargers. Last but not least, the New York Giants.
Ooh, I like that one.
Miami's not doing it. Miami's not keeping it within 3.5. I hate that it's 3.5, but they're winning that game. So at that point, I'm just gonna I'm gonna lay the 3.5.
Just think about this, Sal. The Dolphins have a better record than the Giants.
How gross is that,
It's so gross.
Disgusting.
Antonio?
A disgrace.
Take it away.
The floor is yours.
New England minus. New England minus 9.5.
You're welcome for not taking that because anytime I do anything with the Patriots, they lose.
Your own team.
So I can't.
Never go with your own team.
I put them in pick 3. I didn't even put money on them, and
You
then
can't put them in your pick 3.
it was so rigged last week.
Doesn't matter if we're betting currency or not.
Number 2.
I hate when I have the same, one of the same picks as you, but it kind of ends up working out most of the time.
Chargers.
It's in between that and Green Bay. I feel really confident about Green Bay after we talked about it. Remember, I was kind of on Chicago's side when this first game came.
Yes.
First time we brought it up. But I am.
It's an achy one, dude.
Ever
I'm
since
staying
we
away
had
from
that
one.
conversation about that game, I've just been building up this belief that Green Bay is going to absolutely
Shit
shit
kicked
on
them.
them.
Oh
this
my
week.
God.
So
It should. It seems that way, doesn't it?
yeah, the Packers might.
Yeah. It seems that way. It really does.
The Packers minus 4.5 is my second pick.
4.
Oh, it's 4. All right.
4.
Packers minus 4 is my second pick, and we're going right back to the most reliable team in the NFL.
Tampa Bay
minus 3.5
I love
against
it.
the Lions.
I absolutely love
knew
it.
dude. We have to have at least one of us have Tampa Bay.
The title of this podcast should not be the Underdog Sports
It should
podcast.
be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
It should be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers podcast. That's what it should be called.
Oh my god.
I think it's 4 or 5 weeks in a row I've had him in my pick 3. I'm not going to stop.
I just like recapping so we all know what we had.
I had Buffalo +2, Dallas +1.5, Tennessee -3.
I had Chargers +2.5. I love doing this because I can't remember it. I had Green Bay -4.
The Giants.
I had Giants -3.5.
All right, I have the Packers -4, Tampa Bay -3.5, and New England by 112.
New England -100.
All right.
All right, guys.
Another great week.
Another great week.
We'll see you next week.